All right. So this is done as far as the frame connectors are done. Finish that up. We are gonna take it out of here. I'm gonna take that Mustang out of there, put the Mustang in the other bay, and then put this on that lift so we could take the rear apart. I'm gonna show you how to put a set of gears and posi unit in this thing. All right. All right. Well, it actually started and ran better when it was dead cold out here. So I'll mess around with this later. Once I get this the gears done, then I'll do a little tweaking on the carburetors. This way it idles. All right. So we're gonna get this thing inside. Show you what we're doing. All right. So we got this thing on this lift in here, so we go take the wheels and stuff off. Take all this stuff out of here. And see what we got. All right, so first thing we're going to do is take the dry shaft out. 4 bolts on the yoke. Put a pan under here. And then put a little plug in there so you don't drip all over the floor, lose all your transmission fluid. Frame connectors came up real nice. So take the dry shaft out, take the 2 wheels off, take the drums off. All right. Beautiful wheels, right? But they suck to get off. You can't get a socket on there. They make this cover. When I take this off, I'll show you. So to get the lug nuts off, you got to take the cap off, which is little tiny Allen screws. And all they had to do was make the cover. So see how it's got this little indent right there? But then the cover doesn't. All they had to do was cut that just like that. And you wouldn't have to take this off. All right? Just so you know, American Racing Wheels, fix it. Gotta go through this every time with one of these. This ain't the first time. It probably won't be the last. See how that's cut out like that? You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And then the worst part is, as these get older, these little screws get all oxidized in there, and then they can't come off. Now you can get a socket on there, see? Now why couldn't you just cut this a little bit? All right. We finished taking the wheels off now. All right. Now that we got the wheels off, take the drums off. And okay. Get over here in the light. So there's 4 bolts or nuts. Okay. Use that hole in that. Get those 4 bolts out, and then you got to use like a puller and knock the axle out because it's a bearing. That's a retainer, and the bearing is kind of sitting in there. And then I'll do that first. I'll show you what we do after that. Let me get these both off, and then start taking the center out. So this is an 8-inch Ford, not a 9-inch, not an 8.8. 8-inch, 8, regular 8. So the pumpkin comes out the front of the car. All right, so you got the 4 bolts out. You can use one of these. That's That's that. That came off pretty good. Sometimes when things are so stuck on there, try this side. All right.
Usually you gotta whack them.
You gotta whack the
couple
crap
times.
out of them. Yeah. That's good. Original axis, so it's a sealed bearing basically. That bearing's nice. That's good. Check the other one real quick. Make sure this one's good. That one's good too. Alright, and right there, that's probably 1965 gear oil in there. Alright, so what do you think? What kind of shade of black you want? Alright, so that's that. And that's all you got to do with that to get that off. So now
we can take.
You got 9/16 bolts all around the rear. We're gonna go up with it. Blow this all off with the air gun. Make sure nothing drops in there. And then we're gonna take all the bolts out. There's no drain, so you know how to do that. Just take that off.
All right.
And then we'll put a drain bucket under here and pry it off. And drop the pumpkin out the front.
We're gonna take them off anyway to do the quarters.
Yeah, this one's just hanging here. This one's loose.
They're clamped,
like,
so
yeah. There's I don't know what's going on here. So you see this?
yeah, we're gonna take it off anyway.
It's got like that ain't even doing nothing. So I'm gonna take this off here because we're gonna be doing the quarter panels after, so I might as well just take it up out of the way.
Okay.
Just leave the first hanger on.
That's what we'll be doing.
Hey, leave this hanger because that hanger's
that hanger is good. Yeah.
So these ain't doing I don't know what, nothing. Just take them off. Take them off. Take that off. All right, while he's finishing that. So this brake cable, parking brake cable, they're not doing anything except rattling against the exhaust. So we're gonna take those off. We're gonna try to get in through the trunk. These are rusted, so we're gonna try to hold them on this. I don't know why there's more than one there. Same thing on that side. We're gonna get that off, take this cable off. So it's not banging against the exhaust. I'm gonna take this off right here, this way. That's not doing nothing because we're gonna be fixing all this, so we want this stuff out of the way. All right. So we got all the bolts out, and you just need a little. That thing's been in there since 1965, so.
I have to.
Yeah, we just get a little chisel. It's just stuck on there. All right. Let me get a bigger light so we could see. All right. Finally cracked it loose. You know, that is some black fluid, man. Talk about black gold. I can almost guarantee you that is 1965. All right, let me finish chiseling it out. All right, get these little washers off of here as they come off. Put them there. That stuff's like tar coming out. And nothing, was barely any in it. I thought it was gonna be coming out more. Come on.
Nothing in the pan, really.
No. All right.
You got the orange hammer? Yeah, it's right here on the chair.
1 second. I might need you to help me with this for one
Come
second.
here, Johnny.
Come here a minute.
Hold this up.
You just give me that rag. I'll hold it up. You're gonna have to just here. You're gonna have to just finish prying it out so I can pry the top off. Yep, go ahead. Oh, went back in. Yeah, you gotta go around this side. It's gotta come like, hold on, it's gotta come straight out.
There you go.
There's another washer on there. Yeah. There's another washer on that one. There it goes.
Right there.
Something.
Right there it is.
You sucker.
One more shot, Johnny.
Oh, right, I got it. Oh, yeah. Help me with this frickin' thing. Oh, yeah. All right, put it right down the ground. Yeah. Dude, that is black. And like I said, there was probably... Look at that. Look how thick that is. And it ain't because it's cold in here, because it's nice out. Look at that. Okay. There's only maybe a half a quart in there. That sucks. Wow. Okay. All right, so we're going to clean that all up.
It is clean though.
Black, but it's... All right, so I'm going to clean this all up. Put that in the parts washer.
Yep.
Right? Let's clean up the inside, outside, everything, and we'll take that all apart.
Yeah.
Scrape the gasket off. Scrape all the gasket off of this. Clean this up in here. Put some brake clean in here. Clean this up real good.
Uh-huh.
And make sure there's nothing in there. Get some gloves. Make sure there's no piece of metal or nothing in there, and just clean it all out.
Look
Man,
at
that sucker's heavy, man. I'm used to them, all the aluminum ones lately. You know, I haven't done one of these in a while.
yeah, all the ones for the race
All
cars
the
are
race car were all aluminum. This little sucker's heavier than freaking. Oh my god, stuff is caked on there. You know what?
Just let it soak
Let it
on,
sit,
man.
and then we just soak it real good, and then we'll just let it sit in here. All right, you finish cleaning the other thing. All right, so parts cleaner, wire brush. I'm gonna wipe it off. At least now we can touch it without looking like a coal miner. And once we take it all apart, then we'll clean it up even better and give it a new look. How you making out there, Chico?
It's getting there.
Trying to get all the paper gasket out from around all the studs. All right, so we're getting there. I'm gonna start taking the rear apart. All right, so we got this thing ready to be disassembled. You're gonna need a couple tools, obviously, right? Need one for that. You need a 9/16 for that. That takes the pinion and the pinion support off. Then you need a 1/2 inch there for the lock. You're gonna need something like this. I just made one of these, right, like that, to adjust that. And 5/8 for that. Okay, so we'll show you how to take all that off first, and then we'll go from there. So crack this loose for starters. Right. I'll just take this off while this is here, 9/16. Sorry. That's 5/8, 9/16. So as a driver, this is plenty strong. If you were going to race it, I probably wouldn't recommend it. So the beauty of a 9-inch Ford is this comes off and you can shim everything. Okay, you got the pinion support. I'm gonna spin it around. Make sure you can see that. We are gonna take this down so we don't move. This air hose leaking. So you got one lock, two locks. Okay. And then okay. Get everything making noise. Now, the caps. Johnny, hold this for 1 second. So this cap and this cap are usually different. So, where'd that file go I just had here? Just give me 1 second. That. So if you put a little notch on there so you know where it's going. So two and two. And one. And one. This way you can't forget it. Take the cap off. Now you know that cap's going back on there. That cap, you know that cap's going on there. And then this. Take the pinion out, obviously. And then this just pops out. With all your parts. Okay? So you got a lock and a race. All this is getting replaced. So this is the lock that sets your depth. Okay, I mean your lash. Okay. Let me clean all this up. Gotta clean all these parts now. Now we can clean them because they're all apart. get everything all nice and clean, and then I'll get right back to you and show you what we're doing next. So there's a bearing and races in here. Obviously that was leaking like a sieve. That's probably where all your gear oil went. So this just gets knocked down through, and then you'll replace that. All right, so he's finishing cleaning up the rest of that stuff. On this pinion, got a crush collar. Get a new one. Underneath this bearing, let me see if I can show you that. Under that bearing, there's a spacer, right? We need that. So you need to know how thick that spacer is. So I'm just going to take that bearing, pop that bearing off, and then we'll see what the thickness of that is, because that's going to set the depth of the pinion of the bearing against the gear. All right, so I separated it, and that's part of the gear, and there's no shim, no spacer, no nothing. Okay, so you want to make sure. All right, so we got a new posi unit, new install kit, right? So everything's going to be brand new. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure the ring, I'm going to get the ring and pinion, make sure the ring sits on here, check that, and then we're going to put the two bearings on it, press them on, and then we'll check it in the housing and make sure it clears, because some of them you got to do some clearance work, especially when you're putting these posi units in it. You can see how much bigger this looks than that. So it sits up like this more, so we got to make sure it's got enough clearance on everything. All right, so I just want to show you something. That's the old one, that's the new one. See how the old one has the little step? The new one barely has a step, but when you set them up to each other, they're both the same height. So that's what you want to make sure. That's why you got to always check and see if it's got some kind of spacer or something in there. Okay? So now you know you can put that bearing on there. That'll be done with that one. So you got an inner bearing, right? Inner and outer bearing for that. So one of them is going to go on here. Those are those two. One's going to get pressed on here. The other one will go on from the outside. All right, so one of the things I do before I put these on is I'll stick it in a lathe. Make sure it's true. And then I'm going to polish this spot so that the bearing will slide on. All right, got a beautiful finish on it. And the bearing, it'll just go on. All right, so once we put a little penetrating oil lube on there, and then we'll be able to press it on, but it'll press on real easy. If you got to take it off, it'll come off real easy without destroying it. All right, take that apart. So you got to knock the race out of the carrier. That's one. Put the other one here. Like that. Hold that. And that's the second one. Okay? And those are those. The new ones are going to get pressed into that same thing and knock them in. Okay? And where's the new one? That's a new one. That's going to go in there. I got to get the race thing I got in the drawer. There's a thing that holds that. And the other one is right there. Okay. Like that. Yep. Okay. And bottom it all the way out. Like that. Whoop. Got it? Okay. That's that. That bottom's out against that. Right? See it in there? That one bottoms out against that. And that one bottoms out against that. Okay? That's actually the top. The oil gets flung into there and drops down, and then it drains out into the front of it. Alright, so that's that. Put that aside for now. Clean that up in a minute. So those are in. Got an O-ring. Go blow over the funnel. Ready to go. Going to check the carrier in here to make sure it doesn't hit anything. See what happens? Look. So when that's like that, hold that in, John. So you gotta check that. Now granted it might go over that much, but you gotta check that, because if it hits that, okay?
Right.
So see how much threads you got on that one? Right there, and how much you got on that one? See how much more this one is? So that means it's way over that way. So we're going to check that. And then you also got to check to make sure the heads of the bolts don't hit
Right.
that side. See it?
Yeah.
Alright.
It's all tight, so.
We're going to find out. Do me a favor. Go get me a clean rag to put right there so when I blow this off it's good. So they supply you with 2 sets, different length. You got to make sure you're using the right one. This one's using a longer one. Okay. If you check this against there, it barely goes through. The other one doesn't do nothing. See that one?
Yeah.
Right, like that.
Yep.
So once this gets pulled up in here, it'll be good. Oh, you want to just catch them all. Right. And these are all caught by only maybe 2-3 threads, if that. Alright. And then you're gonna give it a little taparoo and make sure it goes on straight. You need a real thin wall socket for this. Alright, so I sprayed some of that down in between. And then you're gonna just skip it. I'm barely hitting it. You can see it start to pull it down. Because look, see, like these are loose now. And the reason I do it this way is I do them like this. And once it's down tight, then I take the bolt back out, put a little Loctite in it, and then zip it back in. Because we put Loctite on it before, and you start doing it, and then the thing don't seat right or something, then you're screwed. That's a machine fit. So you got to make sure you go all the way around. If you do it one side, you'll cock it to one side and you're done. Then you take it all apart again. See, like I'll hit that a little bit, and then these will be loose, ready to go again. I don't know if you guys ever use this stuff. Stuff is unreal. Expensive as all get up, but it's really good. I think I had a can of this stuff probably like 10, 15 years, and then I went to get another one, and it was like $30. I'm like, what? 30 bucks, like 20 something dollars for a can.
Kind of smells good, actually.
Huh?
It smells good.
Yeah, we're getting there now. You'll know when it's bottom. Alright. And that's it. So now what I do is take one off. A little drop of...
Yeah. They give it to you, actually. Right here, look.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut it open. But...
Yeah, I got my own in here. Little drop will do you. Hello. There we go. That's it. Here, you hold that. I'm gonna do one at a time.
Alright. All the way around.
Alright. So we changed that. Little support bearing for the pinion. Alright. This is the new shims that came with it.
Yeah.
But we used the old one, so we know it's the same. So this is going to go on here, like that. O-ring like that. We're going to check this clearance again real quick, now that we got the ring gear on it. Let's see how tight this thing is. Whoa, yeah, that thing's freaking tight. Oh, yeah. Spin it.
Let it spin.
Spin it. No, it's hitting. Okay. It's got like...
Barely anything.
Barely any...
But it...
Because if I move that, just... Yeah, that hits. Hear it? All right, well, we're going to have to put it together, and then...
Make sure,
and then worst comes to worst, we're gonna have to clearance everything. Where's it hitting? Right here. It's hitting there. And right there. Right there. And right there. And then on the edge of this. We should just, you know what? Just
do it now.
Yeah, let me just clear it. I mean, we can't take that much off anyway, so we might as well just take it all off now. And we ain't gotta worry about it. See what was hitting? Yeah. wash that too. In case we end up going the other way. I'm gonna take this back out and wash it all up. Hit this with brake cleaner and everything, and then just wash it up. Okay. If it hits, can't do nothing about it no more, really. So
it shouldn't.
Yeah, that should be good. All right. Well, we gained about 20 thousandths now, so we should be okay. I hope. Gonna find out pretty quick.
Okay.
All right, that's ready to go. That can go on there. I gotta put the pinion. Let's set this up in here first. I mean this up in here first.
Alright, so we got, I give you two. There's one crush collar in there now. Make sure the seal goes on even.
Get that out of the way. Just put this seal in here real quick. Okay, put that back. Crush collar. We're gonna crush that one. That's a new one.
So the bearing goes on.
Just like that. Okay. We're gonna put some grease on this.
Much of that.
No mas. So we got the seal in there. Put a little grease on the pinion, on the yoke. We're gonna put the new nut on there. Okay. We got a new crush collar in there. I'm gonna crush that. Oh, this goes like this, and then need a little sealer in here too, because or else it's gonna leak.
No, ultra blue.
Put some ultra blue on it. And then we gotta use big ass freaking torque wrench or breaker bar to crush it. That. So now that's tight, right? But that's what you gotta fix. And that ain't happening with that. So now you need this with 2 bolts.
Alright, find bolts first.
Let me find some bolts.
Alright. We're gonna kind of put it together.
I'm gonna put it in here, stick it in the car, because then we can put some leverage on. I can't put leverage on it enough in here.
So we can crush that collar.
Crush the collar.
Okay.
All right, well, we had to all get hands on here. So I mounted it back in here, right? Crushed the collar. You want to just have enough. You could just hear it. So it's dry. So when you put oil in here, once it gets oil in it, it'd be perfect. So you don't want it loose. It's not like, oh yeah, let it just freewheel. It doesn't. No. Just like that. A little bit of drag on it, no binding. Okay? So that's that. That don't have to come back off. It's good to go. Move this back out of the way. And we will be able to set that back up like that. All right. Okay, now put these back on. Make sure everything's nice and clean. Put that on there. Set that in there. Hold that. All right. Now just push it in just like that.
Yeah.
So it's gotta definitely go over that way. Okay, as long as it's not hitting nothing. Look under there real quick and see if it's hitting that. I want it to bottom. I don't want no play in it like that, but is it hitting?
No.
Okay, we're good then. Because it could come this way, no problem.
No.
So we're good. All right, so now hold that like, no, let go.
Well,
Hold that. Just hold that.
I got it.
Okay. And then I'm gonna put the cap back on. Remember what I said about the cap? All right, one mark this side, like that, and a bolt, and then same thing. You're just gonna. That's it. Don't get crazy with that yet, because you got to be able to get these on there. This one, 2 marks on the top. All right, hold that. 2 marks on the top. And then set that and that in place. This is probably a long video, but it is what it is. I need some anti-seize. Watch 1 second. A little bit of anti-seize. You could use oil anti-seize. Just put something on here. This way this thing doesn't bind up. Okay.
Got a new jar.
These go. They're threaded. That's why you can't tighten this up until you catch these. Okay. You gotta make sure they're caught. A little bit on this one.
Yeah. All right.
And we might have to call it a night because it's getting late and Mom's looking for dinner. All right, so that one's gonna go in, right? Okay. We'll do the same thing on this side. Gotta make sure this one goes in. Just like. Like that. That's what this is for. Okay. And get these to go on nice and smooth, like so.
All right, I'll sit down and ready.
All right. Go the other side. So all we're doing right now is bottoming out the race against the bearing on both sides. And then you could just snug this a little bit. We'll check the play, right? And once we got it close, then we tighten these, check it, back it off, check it again. Obviously this got way too much still. So we know it can't go back. Like that. Like that, right? So now there's no more. Now, right? So now I'm thinking that's a little bit too much. So right now this is tight. Can't go anywhere no more, right? So
The knocking you hear is
yeah, it's the gear. That's your backlash. So you back this out a little bit, tighten this one up a little bit. That makes it even more, right? So now you go, go about half and about half. Right? So you want it. Okay. Now we'll check it with okay. Now we need to check this. Okay. Give me a second. Let me clean my hands up.
All right, so where did the number go? Right there.
I need the 8,000 clearance.
Right there. You see the number. So you're gonna use one of these. Got a magnet on it.
Okay. And
Adjust it all.
yeah. And you want check it like that.
Here, you want me to tighten it when it's...
Let me just get it close on that. Okay, so now we got it there. So that's the play you want to see. So you want to lock that so that don't move. So that's
You could go to 0 with it if you want.
right. Let's just go to here.
I was gonna say you can start it at 0 even.
Don't matter. I mean, just start it wherever you want. So that's 1. Whoop. It's got too much, so don't matter. It looks like it's got 12. 10.
10, yeah.
10, got 20. So it's got 20, so it's too much. So same thing. Back it off. Back these off a little bit. Back this off here. And then I'm making it tighter, so this is gonna go. This one's gonna go back. This one's gonna go forward. Okay. Tighten this back up. Gotta have it tight when you're final checking. Check this again. Go in here a little bit better. All right. So now we moved it. Now we're at about 15. Let's see if we can get it right there. Okay, moved a little bit. Moved again. Let me get this thing so it don't drop out. There we go.
Now you kind of get the idea. You gotta keep
You gotta
checking
keep
it
checking it.
till it tightens up a little. Okay,
Now this one's gonna go in.
so we'll get this clearance right and
This one's gonna go in.
I'll show you what we're doing.
There's the problem.
I'm gonna have to clearance that
See
more
that?
now.
So I can't clearance this anymore. So I'm gonna mark this, put this on the machine, and machine a little groove in here. Because it's hitting. I can't get no more than 15. That's the best I could get it to go. It locks up. Okay.
You can see the line
You
where
can see where it's touching it right here. Look, now you can see it.
Yeah.
See it?
Yep.
So we're gonna mark it like this
Ready?
from here. All right, go. Go all the way around. Okay. Stop. At least to there and at least to here. Go around again. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. No, it's got to go like that, and then I'll mark. Take a little bit off of that and a little bit off of that. Yep. Okay.